Welcome, curious minds, to another deep dive.
Hello.
Today, we're taking a shortcut to being well-informed about a really thrilling journey right into the heart of a Gothic mystery.
Sounds intriguing.
Yeah, we've got these fascinating sources. They're excerpts from a book, Royal Blood by Rhys Bowen. Now, just to be clear, this isn't history, it's fiction.
Right, it's a royal spinous mystery, one of hers.
Exactly. But it's packed with such vivid detail and these great twists. You really feel like you're right there with the main character.
Indeed. And our mission today, really, is to unpack this journey of Lady Georgiana. She's a very unlikely royal protagonist, wouldn't you say?
Oh, completely.
She's penniless, living alone in this, drafty London house back in 1932. And then suddenly she's tangled up in royal duty, international intrigue.
And a murder.
And a perplexing murder, yeah. All set in this genuinely spooky Transylvanian castle.
Right. So if you've ever wondered, what it might be like to be royal-ish, but totally broke, and then suddenly thrown into a murder mystery in, the land of Dracula.
Well, this deep dive is definitely for you.
Let's see what we can pull out of it.
Let's do it. Okay, so first, let's unpack Lady Georgiana's pretty unique situation.
Yeah, where does she start off?
Well, she's King George V's second cousin, so royalty. But surprisingly, that royal connection doesn't really help her bank account.
Not at all.
We find her, it's November 1932, living in this cold, damp house in London, Rannoch House. No servants, and literally no money for food sometimes.
Wow. How did that happen?
Apparently, her father gambled away most of their fortune and then lost whatever was left in the '29 crash. So she's properly penniless.
It's such a contrast to how we usually picture royalty, isn't it?
Totally.
And Rhys Bowen, the author, really uses that. It kind of subverts the usual cozy mystery thing where the detective has tons of money.
Right.
Georgiana's lack of cash makes everything riskier, more relatable. It pushes her into situations she wouldn't otherwise be in. Adds depth. Yeah, good point. And her living situation, it's even more complicated because of her sister-in-law, Fig.
Ah, yes, Fig. Hilda Rannoch, technically.
Right. Fig's married to Georgiana's brother, Binky. And Fig had already made it pretty clear Georgiana wasn't welcome at their place in Scotland, Castle Rannoch.
Even though Georgiana saved her son and Binky before.
Exactly. So Fig shows up back in Leiden saying it's her nerves, but turns out she's pregnant.
Ah.
And she refuses to stay at Rannoch House because it's too cold, insists on going to Claridge's instead.
Right.
Really highlights the difference in their situations.
Definitely. That contrast between Georgiana managing on her own and Fig's sort of entitlement.
Yeah.
It sets Georgiana up for what happens next, I think. Shows her independence.
Which she definitely needs, because what happens next is, well, really unexpected.
The letter?
Yeah, completely out of the blue, a letter arrives from Buckingham Palace inviting her to lunch with Queen Mary about a matter of some importance.
Ooh, ominous.
You'd think it's an honor, right? But Georgiana's reaction is more like, oh no, what now?
Well, yeah, because Queen Mary's requests are never simple, are they? Not for Georgiana.
No, what were the previous ones?
She'd had her spying on Mrs. Simpson, hosting some German princess with zero resources. So this summons, it's not just a social call.
So what's the task this time?
The Queen wants Georgiana to represent the royals at a wedding in Romania. Princess Maria Theresa's wedding.
Okay.
And specifically, she wants Georgiana to be a bridal attendant. Claims they were good chums at school.
Were they?
Georgiana barely remembers her, calls her Maddie, remembers her as this pathetic, annoying little thing.
Oh, dear.
Yeah, apparently she and her friend Belinda used to call her Fatty Maddie or Moony Maddie. So not exactly chums.
Doesn't sound like it.
So this isn't just an invitation. It's like the first clue, almost.
Yeah.
The royals using Georgiana's, position, even though she's broke.
Okay, so Georgiana needs to go to Romania for this wedding she doesn't want to be in, for a princess she doesn't really like. First problem.
Finding a maid. Because obviously she needs one for a trip like this, but she can't afford to pay anyone.
Right. Does her friend Belinda offer?
Belinda does, yeah, jokingly. But Georgiana turns her down. Figures Maddie would recognize Belinda.
Smart. So what happens? How does she get a maid?
Well, the palace doesn't help, but her Cockney grandfather does. He and his neighbor, Mrs. Huggins, send someone over.
Oh. Who?
Someone named Queenie. And she is, well, highly unsuitable.
How so?
Let's just say her resume includes disasters, like setting a mistress's dress on fire while the mistress was wearing it.
Oh my God. Seriously.
Apparently. And she just seemed generally clueless. She's kind of comic relief, really.
Yeah, sounds like it. But also probably adds to Georgiana's stress levels.
Absolutely. Just another layer of absurdity in her already strange life.
So the journey itself to Romania, how does that go?
Oh, it's quite something. She travels with chaperones, the very formidable Lady Middlesex,
Uh-oh.
who spends her time complaining about foreigners and trying to educate everyone she meets.
Sounds delightful.
And the other one is Miss Dearheart, who gets increasingly nervous and paranoid
Hmm.
about wolves, vampires, the works.
Oh, perfect for a trip to Transylvania.
Exactly. They're actually heading on to Baghdad eventually, but they have to see Georgiana safely delivered to the castle first.
And the arrival, does it live up to the Transylvanian hype?
Oh, completely.
Yeah.
The author really lays on the Gothic atmosphere. They get picked up in this vehicle that looks like a hearse.
A hearse. Oh, lovely.
Yeah. And the local peasants, they look suspicious, scared. They're crossing themselves, warning them to beware. Classic stuff.
And the castle itself?
Bran Castle. It's described as isolated, imposing, ancient, foreboding. Everything you'd expect. Sets the mood perfectly.
Wow. Okay. And even before they get there, things were a bit weird on the train, right?
Yeah, Georgiana keeps feeling like someone's watching her.
Creepy.
And there's this incident with a Frenchman at her compartment door. Plus, she has this really vivid dream.
Yeah, vampire dream.
The vampire dream. About Darcy O'Mara, no less.
Darcy. We'll get to him.
These little things, they just ramp up the tension, make her feel vulnerable, isolated, and blur that line between, Gothic superstition and maybe actual danger.
And she's worried about her jewels, too, right? The tiara she has to wear.
Exactly. Adds a practical worry on top of all the spooky stuff, makes you question what's real, what's just in her head, or what's part of the setting.
Okay, so Bran Castle, they arrive. What's it like inside?
Pretty much exactly as you'd imagine from the outside.
Yeah.
Cold, damp, ancient stone. Lots of heavy drapes, hangings, huge furniture.
Sounds drafty.
Very. And Queenie, her maid, she hates it instantly.
I bet.
Compares it to a Holloway prison. And Madame Tussauds' Chamber of Horrors.
Huh. Can't blame her, really.
Not at all. And then Georgiana has this really unsettling experience pretty early on.
What happens?
She sees a figure climbing the outside castle wall. Later, someone actually appears in her bedroom.
Whoa.
And then, even weirder, she notices a portrait on her wall has changed. It was a handsome young man. Now it's an older, much sterner-looking ancestor.
Okay, that's properly spooky. Is it supernatural?
Well, that's what it makes you think.
Right.
It's a classic Gothic element. Plays on the setting, hints at ghosts or something.
But maybe it's not.
Exactly. Could be misdirection. Hints at human plots hidden behind the spooky stuff.
Yeah.
Makes you question everything.
Okay, so let's meet the actual humans involved. The wedding party.
Right. First, there's Princess Maria Theresa. Maddie.
The bride. The one Georgiana didn't really like at school.
That's her. But she's undergone this amazing transformation.
Mm-hmm.
From fatty Maddie to this slim, elegant, really confident woman.
Oh.
She says it was a cure at a spa in the Black Forest.
Okay. And the groom?
Prince Nicholas. He's charming, handsome. Georgiana actually knew him when they were kids. He seems pretty relaxed, jokes about the castle being Gothic and, Vlad the Impaler's old stomping grounds.
Right. Who else is there?
Well, there's Maddie's brother, Prince Siegfried. He's described as a loathsome toad and fish face.
Charming. Why is he there?
He's apparently an unwanted suitor for Georgiana herself. Thanks to the Queen, probably.
Oh, lovely. Anyone else important?
There's Field Marshal Curran, a Bulgarian general, guest of honor, but he sounds dreadful. Insults the king, stares at the women, has terrible table manners.
Sounds like a delight.
Mm-hmm. And then, surprise, Georgiana's friend Belinda shows up.
Belinda. How?
She apparently faked a car breakdown nearby. Claims she's an old-school friend of Maddie's, which is true, I guess.
Huh. What's she up to?
Well, she immediately starts charming Prince Anton, who is Nicholas's younger brother. Adds another dynamic.
Okay, so the castle's filling up. Any other surprise guests?
Just one more, but it's a big one for Georgiana.
Let me guess. Darcy O'Mara.
You got it. The Irish charmer, the adventurer, the one Georgiana has this complicated history with.
Where does he pop up?
Right there at the pre-wedding banquet. Turns out he's one of Nicholas's groomsmen.
Wow. Talk about complicating things for Georgiana.
Exactly. On a personal level, it's chaos. But he also brings some useful skills to the table.
Oh.
Well, Darcy's not just a pretty face. He's an experienced adventurer. Resourceful, which, as it turns out, is going to be very handy.
Right, because things take a turn at that banquet, don't they?
A very dark turn. Field Marshal Perrin, the unpleasant general, he collapses during dinner, dies right there at the table.
Good grief. What happened? Too much drinking.
That's what it looks like at first. But But Darcy, Nicholas, and Anton, they immediately suspect something else. Foul play.
Darcy again. How does he know?
He's sharp. He notices the symptoms: flushed face, bulging eyes, and the smell: bitter almonds.
Cyanide.
Exactly. He
Ah.
diagnoses it almost instantly, insists nobody touch anything on the table.
Wow, that changes everything.
It really does.
Yeah.
Shifts it immediately from maybe an accident to definitely murder.
Yeah.
And high-stakes murder, given who Piran was.
So what do? Call the police?
Well, no.
Uh,
Nicholas panics.
Yeah.
He's worried about the diplomatic fallout for his country. A foreign general murdered at the royal wedding.
yeah, that would be bad.
So he decides on the cover-up.
A cover-up, seriously.
Seriously. He gets Georgiana, Darcy, even Lady Middlesex, and Ms. Dearheart involved. And Dragomir, the steward.
Lady Middlesex agrees to cover up a murder.
Surprisingly, yes. She talks about the ramifications for the country. It shows how important appearances were, maybe more than justice.
That's fascinating. So what's the plan?
Make it look like Piran had a heart attack. Keep it secret.
Does it work?
Well, just as they're trying to manage it, someone else arrives. Unexpectedly.
Oh!
Petrascu, head of the Romanian secret police.
Oh no, how did he know?
He claims he overheard someone talking about murder.
Yeah.
And he immediately hones in on Georgiana and Darcy.
Him.
Maybe because they're outsiders. Or maybe something else. He even claims to find the poison bottle, which is just an ordinary medicine bottle, apparently planted in Georgiana's room.
So he thinks they did it?
He certainly acts like it, restricts Georgiana's movements. She's basically trapped in the castle, and now she's a prime suspect.
Okay, this is getting intense, but then Georgiana notices something really important, right?
She does. A crucial detail. Piran, the victim. He drank from Nicholas's glass.
Nicholas's glass, not his own.
Exactly. Which means...
Nicholas was the intended victim, not Piran.
Precisely. Which totally changes the investigation. Who would want to kill Prince Nicholas, the groom?
Okay, so who are the suspects now?
Well, the focus shifts. First, there's Anton, Nicholas's younger brother.
Motive.
He stands to inherit the throne if Nicholas is out of the way. Plus, he apparently knows something about chemistry. And he's the one who convinced Petrascu to delay the investigation initially. Suspicious, maybe?
Definitely sounds like it. Who else?
There's Dragomir, the castle steward. Remember him?
Yeah, the one whose ancestors own the castle?
Right. He's expressed bitterness about his family losing the castle, about his status. And there's that weird description: pale skin, strange eyes, looks like that old portrait.
Gives them a kind of gothic motive, almost. Vengeance.
Possibly. And then there's Miss Dearheart's testimony. Before she... Well, before...
What did she say?
She claimed she saw a man in black lurking in the shadows near the dining hall on the first night, in a perfect position to poison the glass.
A mysterious stranger.
Yeah, she suggested maybe he was disguised as a servant or something. Any other theories?
There's always the possibility of a political assassination attempt aimed at Nicholas to destabilize the region, like, communists or anarchists. Thinking back to Archduke Ferdinand.
Wow, lots of possibilities. And in the middle of all this, Queenie disappears.
Yes. Georgiana's maid just vanishes. Georgiana's frantic, worried Petrascu might have arrested her, or worse.
Adding personal stress on top of the murder mystery?
Exactly. And then comes the really tragic part.
Miss Dearheart.
Yeah. They find her body at the bottom of a staircase.
An accident.
Georgiana suspects not. She thinks Miss Dearheart might have been pushed. Maybe she saw something, was snooping, as Georgiana puts it.
Oh, that's awful. So the danger is very real and very close.
Absolutely. It's not just a puzzle anymore. People Georgiana knows are disappearing or dying. It makes it incredibly personal for her. And you mentioned Lady Middlesex had a surprising reaction.
Yeah, she's apparently genuinely distraught about Miss Dearheart's death. It shows this hidden depth, this connection between them you wouldn't have expected from her usual grumpy behavior.
Humanizes her a bit.
It really does. Shows how these intense situations can reveal hidden aspects of people.
So Georgiana is now basically investigating 2 deaths and a disappearance while being a suspect herself. What does she do?
She goes to Maddie, the princess, confronts her.
About what?
About secrets. And Maddie finally confesses. She's been having a secret love affair.
With who?
With someone named Vlad. Apparently a servant's son who grew up in the castle.
Vlad! Seriously, in Bran Castle.
I know, right? And Maddie reveals he was the figure Georgiana saw climbing the wall, and the person who accidentally came into her room.
Wow, so it wasn't supernatural.
Nope. Very human. Maddie even hints that Vlad suggested having the wedding at the castle so they could meet one last time.
So this forbidden romance is tangled up in everything.
Deeply. And it gets even more dramatic. Maddie wants to introduce Georgiana to Vlad.
Where?
In a secret passage, of course. But as they're going, Georgiana falls through a trap door, a trick slab in the floor,
Oh my God, where does she end up?
and a hidden dungeon, an oubliette, basically a hole you drop people into and forget about them.
Is she trapped?
She is, but guess who she finds down there?
Queenie.
Exactly. Queenie's alive, just stuck down there.
How do they get out?
Pretty harrowing. They have to tear up Georgiana's petticoat to make a rope, and then Georgiana manages to squeeze through this tiny grill. Shows she's pretty resourceful, not just lucky.
Definitely. What happens when they get out?
We'll talk about timing. Just as they emerge, Maddie's father, the king, shows up, demanding to know if Vlad is in the castle. The tension is sky high.
And then Dagacia.
A confession, right. Dragomir the steward steps forward, and he confesses to everything. The murders. Said it was vengeance for his ancestors losing the castle.
So case closed. Dragomir did it.
It looks that way for a second. But then, even more drama.
What now?
Vlad appears, holding a gun, and he shouts out, calling Dragomir father.
Father. So Vlad is Dragomir's son.
Yep. And Vlad reveals he is the real murderer, not his father.
Why? Why did he do it?
He claims he did it for Maddie. To stop her marrying Nicholas, someone she didn't love.
Yeah.
He poisoned the drink meant for Nicholas.
Wow. What a twist. Dragomir was covering for his son.
Seems like it. And Maddie. How does she react to Vlad, her secret love, being the killer?
That's the crucial moment, isn't it? It really tests her.
Absolutely. Does she choose love or duty?
She actually stands up to Vlad, shows her noble side, as the book puts it. She tells him duty comes first. She won't let him shoot Nicholas or anyone else to get away.
That's a powerful choice for her character. Rejecting the passionate romance for her royal responsibility.
It really is. It shows her growth from that moony Maddie Georgiana remembered. But Vlad doesn't just give up, does he?
No. In desperation, he grabs Maddie, takes her hostage, and tries to escape.
Good grief. What an ending to the investigation part.
I know. What an incredible ride, right? Started with just a, awkward royal invitation.
And ends up in a desperate struggle for survival in this snowed-in castle in Transylvania.
It just goes to show how fast things can escalate, how duty and passion can collide, and how even plans made with maybe good intentions can lead to absolute chaos and murder.
Yeah, and that whole gothic horror layer. The spooky castle, the superstitions, Georgiana's own fears. It was almost like a mask, wasn't it?
It really was, masking a very human story underneath.
Yeah.
Forbidden love, family honor, people getting desperate.
And appearances being deceiving, like Maddie's huge change, or thinking Dragomir was the villain when he was protecting his son.
Exactly. And through it all, you have Lady Georgiana, our guide through this madness.
Our royal spyness.
Right. And she doesn't just survive. She figures out the mystery, rescues her maid.
Escapes having to marry Fishface, Siegfried.
Oh, yeah, forgot about that. And still manages to have some romantic sparks with Darcy.
It's quite a feat, really.
It is. She starts off penniless, kind of adrift, navigates all these complex social rules, a murder plot, a kidnapping.
And comes out the other side with Queenie safe, her reputation maybe slightly playfully ruined.
In the best way.
And maybe a future with Darcy.
The promise of one, at least. It's pretty impressive.
It really makes you think about, the hidden sides of people, what's going on beneath the surface.
Definitely. And how these really extreme situations can bring out, well, both the absolute best and the absolute worst in us.
So, thinking back on this whole deep dive, for you, what was the most surprising part? Was it Maddie's secret love, or Dragomir and Vlad, or maybe something else entirely?
That's a good question. Maybe it was just how well the novel blended the fun, light, almost cozy mystery elements with the genuinely dark, gothic, and dangerous stuff. It walks a fine line.
Yeah, it does. It keeps you guessing.
Yeah.
Well, we'll leave you, our listeners, with that thought to ponder. What stood out most to you in this royal romp through Transylvania? Until our next deep dive.